Hi friends, Living Fit with Laura on this very, very sunny day. Wanted to talk briefly to my friends about consistency. So I was in a hotel over the weekend and I went swimming in the hotel pool and I found that I was very, very strong in the water. The reason is I had been doing swimmer's arms, what I call swimmer's arms, activating the same muscles as if I was, in the water with hand weights. So we can mimic the exercise at home if we're unable to get to a pool. I'd had a number of surgeries this last year. Without going into any detail, I was pretty much out of it for a year. Now I'm back running and I am strong because of the consistent workouts I did, adapting to my surgeries, adapting to having a cast on my leg for a number of weeks, adapting to having metal plates in my foot, adapting to the loss of vision in my right eye. We adapt, adjust, and accept to those things we cannot change. We adapt, adjust, and accept to those surgeries or illnesses or having a number of birthdays. We don't try to do the same thing that we used to do when we were 20. That's ridiculous. And we're not robots. We don't try to do prescribed exercise routines that may not take into account our injuries or our need to adapt. For example, 6 weeks out after my glaucoma surgery, and I had also gashed my head, had a concussion, I signed up for a very rigorous 8-week challenge to get shredded, and as you might predict, I choked. My body was not ready. My mind was not ready. So we listen to our bodies. This is the key. We listen to our bodies. Our bodies are magnificently and wonderfully made. And we are not rigid in trying to follow a prescribed fitness plan that might be ideal for the person giving the fitness plan, who usually is extremely fit. We're not cut out of a cookie cutter, my friends. So on this beautiful day, we're grateful for our lives. We say, this is the day my Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in the day. I will not live in want today. I will realize that I have control of my attitude, control of the food I eat, and control of creating a good life for myself. Despite an ideal circumstance, we have control of our attitude. We have control over the food we eat. When I was in the hotel over the weekend, I selected the hard-boiled eggs, the fruit, the coffee with milk, not the sugared creamers. I selected the healthy food, and I also chose to do stair runs, jog, and use the weight room and the pool. So we are in control. We decide to get our exercise. We decide to have a clean and healthy mindset. We decide to only speak words of positivity and encouragement. When we complain, I notice when I complain or regurgitate the past, I get into a real bad mood. So we are not to relive the past. We are not to complain, curse, criticize, condemn, or negatively compete. If we have a role model that we admire, we use that as exactly that, a role model. We are not competing against them. We are competing against ourselves. So on this beautiful day, Live Fit with Laura, remember that we are in control of the food we eat. We are in control of our attitude. We can choose to live well despite an ideal circumstance. I drove by the group home that I lived for 4 years. Before that, I lived in another group home. So I was in group homes and facilities all of my 30s because of depression, because of the medicine. I still have depression, but I am not medicated. I manage depression with my exercise, with deliberately refocusing several dozen times a day off myself and on my living God, thinking about others, thinking about what is my purpose in this world. The decade I was in the group home, the medicines rendered me unable to work in my field. I was really unable to engage in meaningful relationships. I was in such a stupor. But I still lived well because I took responsibility for my bills. I worked menial jobs. I took classes and got A's. I still lived well despite unideal circumstances. Why? Because I took responsibility and I had a goal. I had a goal, go on and live, with taking 1 or 2 classes each quarter, with getting my exercise, with cleaning my apartment, with taking care of my bills all on my own, including tuition for the classes, my car, my rent, everything. I lived well because I held my head high and I was respectful of my life. We hold our head high and we are respectful of our lives, never arrogant, but we are reverent to the God who gave us breath. Let me say that again. We are reverent to the God who gave us breath. We realize that our lives are sacred and we live well despite an ideal circumstance. We are reverent to the God who gives us breath. And when we have outdoor exercise, it helps us to get our mind off ourselves because we notice the sky, the trees, the flowers, the birds, and we realize the magnificence of our God. So on this beautiful day, live well with me, get our exercise. Remember, we are in control. We always have choices to live well with our mindset, with focus off of self, choosing the healthy food, and thinking about what can we do for someone else today. Living Fit with Laura, to get and stay, sane, stable, serene, and strong. I'm proud of you. Keep it up.